Time now for your forewarned weather with Cedric Haynes.
Well, did you feel it? It was definitely well above average as we went throughout our Thursday afternoon, and so much, in fact, that we had some record highs to talk about here for you from our Thursday afternoon. Cedar City, you set a new record high temperature hitting 81 degrees. That definitely broke the old record high temperature, which was 77 back in 2014. Scipio, you tied the record high temperature of 78 degrees, also did that back in 1931, so it's been a long time. Manti hit 75, that also tied the previous record high, which went back to 1907. So again, a long time since we've been that warm. And last but not least, Alta, my goodness. Alta getting in on the record highs yesterday, hitting 64 degrees, smashing the old record high of 61 that was set back in 1996. So it was a very warm day. Dare I say it, going to probably likely be a little warmer as we go throughout today. Let's talk about it here. Before we do that, though, I also don't want to forget about you. Salt Lake City, you're probably wondering, how did we stack up based on the record? Well, we hit 80 degrees officially at the airport. That's the first time this year we've hit 80 degrees. But not only that, the previous record high was 81. So we came in 1 degree shy of tying or breaking that new record high. But that's okay, because it was still warm and nice. The average high is 60. We were 20 degrees above the average high. All right, let's look at the numbers out there right now. 36 degrees in Logan, 37 in Vernal, 39 in Heber, but 40s and 50s fairly widespread with a 60 in St. George this morning. So as you're waking up, we're waking up to this high pressure ridge that is encompassing all of Utah, and that means we are going to be dealing with that southwesterly flow and a nice warming trend once the sun begins to come up. Of course, it's already pretty warm out there, but we're going to continue to see that increasing throughout the day. But as we go throughout the weekend, we are tracking some changes here as we start to beat down that high pressure ridge by the time we get towards your Saturday. So Saturday will be the day of change. So ahead of it, we'll still have a breezy southwesterly wind, and we'll still be warm above average, but we're not going to be as warm. We'll probably be more like 5 to 10 degrees above average as opposed to 10 to 20 degrees above average as we go into your Saturday. And then Sunday, this low pressure trough grazes us to the north, and that will knock our temperatures back down a little more significantly across northern Utah and probably just barely across southern Utah, but still slightly cooler. Before we get to that trough, though, we've got to talk about today. It's all about that heat ridge. We call it the heat dome in the summertime, and that's going to mean that record heat that's going to continue to build across the west here, and that will continue into the next day or so before we start to see those changes. So on the weather map today, it's warm from north to south. Cache Valley, how about getting in the mid to upper 70s for you? We've got a lot of 80s on the map. And yes, we're tracking some low 90s showing up out there as well. We'll go with 71 in Park City, 73 in Evanston, about 80 degrees over towards Roosevelt, 76 in Manila. How about 85 in Castledale, 75 in Nephi, 83 degrees expected for our friends in Oak City this afternoon, about 80 in Escalante, 87 in Hanksville, about 73 in Monticello, 87 at Lake Powell, 84 in Kanab. And there you see that 92 expected in St. George. So maybe you want to go hike around Bryce Canyon later today or head over towards Bear River Lake here and enjoy some of the nice conditions there. Just keep in mind the UV index is at 8. It is very high. That means that you could burn in less than 20 minutes if you don't have that sunscreen SPF 15 or greater. And for my allergy sufferers, let's say you're thinking, man, I would love to take a walk around the Capitol. I would probably advise against that right now if you suffer from those allergies, but do know tree pollen is high and will stay high right on through the weekend. Not seeing much change in that, so don't expect much relief heading your way. All right, I did mention that weak front that's going to come on through as we go into your Saturday. Notice most of the moisture stretching from Idaho Falls up towards Billings. As that front gets a little closer Saturday afternoon, evening, we may try to pop up an isolated shower or two, mainly over some of the mountains, but I just don't see a lot of any measurable precipitation, really. Not just with that system on Saturday, but over the next 7 days, the chance of any measurable precipitation across the Beehive State, it is slim to none. All right, St. George, low 90s for us today, about 90 on your Saturday. Then here comes that front Saturday night. So by the time we get into next week, we're talking highs only in the 80s, but even then, it's mid to upper 80s, so it's still above average. The Wasatch Front, we're talking about low to mid 80s for today, potentially a record high. Slight chance of a shower for your Saturday as that front moves through, and then much cooler on Sunday with highs in the 50s. But look at that, the 70s return for next week.